you know that little stitch on TikTok when there's like a monkey that like slides through and the bomb, and then they zoomed it out and it was a sofa. Like the stitches of the sofa. I died.
So good.
I think sometimes brands with UGC, when they don't know what to do, they'll just like follow their competitors rather than actually looking and finding out, okay, what actually works for us.
If you think you found the winning ad, don't stop.
Brings us back to how you can apply this into your like ads as a business, how to personalize your message, but also find your right audience, and how UGC can help doing that. Because I feel like those massive companies could benefit so much from like simple UGC videos too, when it just brings attention to like smaller audiences or people who just need a little bit of a different approach, because not everything is going to work for everyone, right?
Definitely. Even like same companies that is doing the same product, right? It's a skincare brand, right? Like obviously so many skincare brands, but I'll just take this example because it's the most obvious one. Same price point. Let's use the same strategy, and then you're just complaining about the fact that it's not working for you because you never thought about
Same.
yeah, what's the brand's voice? The message that you want to go out there, because everyone is just like, oh yeah, storytelling, whatever. It's not necessarily that important, it's just more about the USPs. Yeah, USPs are important, but how do you actually differentiate, especially in this field of like skincare? It's so competitive. Maybe it's not the right example, but like the point is you can create the same ad and it's not going to work the same for all of the brands. Definitely, UGC is something massive for e-commerce brands that have physical products. They were doing before. They were having these very polished photo shoots. Like
Airbrushed.
exactly. Yeah.
And all of us full of eyes, we know.
It worked at some point. It was working at some point, right? Now people want to see a real person. How does it look when they use it? Is it actually working? Is it actually, what they're talking about? Like, is it actual for real? Because obviously in a photo shoot or a video shoot, you can definitely make it look really good. Whereas when a creator is using that product, it's definitely the raw version of it. The experience.
And you know what? The great example of that is, I don't know if you girls ever thought about it, but it is what I realized is a little bit of my like Roman Empire, right? Is with mascara ads. Do you realize that? Have you ever noticed that they always put fake lashes on?
Oh yeah.
They always have fake lashes, and I'm like, excuse me, you're basically advertising fake lashes, not your mascara.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I always look. So when we're doing it too, even skincare and stuff, see at the bottom, they always put on too, like if it's skincare or stuff, and they'll do like how many people were in the, or like 73% of people done this. And then you look at the bottom, you look at the study, and it's like 70% of 40 people. And it's like such a small, I'm like, no bullshit. But if you notice too, I see now way less ads than there used to be on mascara and like see I always go back to Maybelline. That's my Roman Empire, like the Maybelline ads, because their mascara, it's their concealer, they're that. I see way less of it now that I'm like I'd love to talk to someone in that. I'm like, when did you stop allocating so much of your budget to these editorial TV? Because we all know now, like it's all, especially even to Garnier. I've seen lots of UGC with Garnier recently.
Oh my god!
And I'm like,
TikTok.
The BB sun cream thing is like getting pushed in social media at the minute. I'm like, okay, when did the budget allocation change? And it's going to stay that way. But on that topic too, I'd love to ask you, what do you personally think, Maria, I'll ask you first, when it comes to organic and ad content? What should be the differences, if any?
This is a tricky question, and I don't think there's a right answer to it from my point of view, at least. Because again, we're going back to, you have to test and see which works better for you. An ad would most of the times look like a very basic hook, body, and CTA. People are getting used to it, and they do understand, even if you're not in marketing, you'll be like, okay, are you tired of not sleeping well? I mean, that's clearly a hook, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll be like, you can use this, buy this from this website, and you're just like, okay, it's a person that is, doing this, but it's clearly doing the video for paid ads purposes, right? From my point of view, that's the main difference between organic and paid type of video. Brands should try to shift a bit towards the organic approach. You can still use hooks, but something that's not that into your face. I actually have a really good example. It's Nicola's one of the videos for headband thing.
Oh, I love that video. That was a great one.
It was so good. Like,
Yeah,
you
it was great.
wouldn't thought about it because it's such a small thing that people don't realize it, but it has such a big impact. And you're just like, whoa, it's mind blowing. Like, I want to stay here and see what this is about.
Not often will I, when I'm reviewing ads, like on the clip, will I be like, oh, they've sold me that product. You fully sold me that product. I was like, I need that. That's fantastic. Yeah. But like, because you showed so many different scenes, and I was like, it was natural too. But I would like to know even your opinion, Nicola. Like, see, when I'm starting to do ads now, like some brands want ads, other brands want organic. I've started seeing them more, and I'd like to even know from your Maria too, when you do ads that are more organic feeling as an ad rather than an adsy ad, what's the performance? Because I personally feel like when I'm doing ads more, some brands want me to be adsy, which a lot of the ads I do is, but I'm starting to lean a lot more towards organic, and I'm starting to see too when brands give me like the analytics at the end of the month or whatever, how it's done. It's those like storytelling that like, oh, this is happening, like it's really realistic, that seems to be performing best. And I think now I'm like, why aren't more brands wanting that? But what do you think?
I think it's because there's always going to be a moment in any industry, in any technology that we're using, whatever, where people have to catch up, right? So some of the brains that just see it, they will want to follow it because they're like, well, this is just starting. It's a little bit like trending sound on TikTok, right? The right people will use that sound, and that's what's going to make it viral. So I feel like this is the same thing. Now we're at this limbo where I think organic content sells more because the organic content sells your brand, the lifestyle that you're selling. You're not just selling the product itself. Like, you're actually buying into the customer base. And I feel like that's the biggest investment that you can make. The most important investment is to have content that is going to make people click on your website because they respect it and they wanted to buy into that lifestyle that you're selling on your socials. So I remember I used to always say to my clients that when people visit your socials, they should, with physical products especially, I guess it matters, when people go on your socials, they should feel like when they're entering your store, like your brick and mortar store. They should have the same feeling, with rituals, for example. You go in and there's a massive cherry blossom tree, right? You've got the and it's the same with their socials. You go in and you just feel like you're relaxed, you're calm, you're just scrolling through, and there's beautiful images of things, and you feel the same way. And because you know that lifestyle and you want to aspire to buy into it and you want to feel that way all the time, you go on their website and you you get a couple of shower foams, whatever. Like, this is it. That's me, by the way. But for some people, I feel like it's so important to have a little budget allocated for experimenting with your paid ads, right? Because why not try this organic content for your paid ads? Organic sells the lifestyle, and I feel like that's what should be more, the focus should be more on. I love when people do like backstage of the staff, what they're doing, what they're up to. I love that stuff. I want to know more. It just makes it cooler and younger, and you want to buy into that. That's the whole thing. Yeah, the organic content should show your brand more rather than specific product, right? So you should have just that kind of feeling and who you are as a brand. What, I know it sounds so cliche, but like, who are you as a brand? What specific aspects there are of, why someone would want to buy it, not someone else. Speaking of, skincare, why would someone buy into you, not the L'Oreal that they know for generations? Those big brands they're pushing against that organic content being ads now. So like, why are we staying in that little stubborn spot when it's like, you can see L'Oreal, Garnier, as we said, like people just doing their makeup. This is organic.
So much,
But you see it,
But even on that too, I was gonna say there is like, see when it comes to like, I've always like had it in my mind too that I don't know where I read it or who said it, but at one stage someone's like, oh, a product must be mentioned within the first 3 seconds. You need to have that in it. However, now I personally, when I'm watching ads, when it is that more organic type, that the product isn't straight away like, oh, this is the product.
Yeah.
That really like makes me swipe on, and then I'm starting to be like, it's like, I think we spoke about this another time, like in movies when like brands pay for like
Product
a Coke can
placement.
to be in the court, product placement, that I'm like, and I'm noticing brands asking for that more, and it's doing better, but it's now turning away from that. But would you agree too? Like, I used to think 3 seconds, you need to have that product in. But I was testing it myself with some brands. I'd be like, okay, I think this brand might be different. I'm not going to mention the brand or the product 30 seconds. I'm going to do more of a lifestyle kind of thing. And then like suddenly put it in. Some brands love it. Some brands hate it. So then it's like hard to get that balance. But what's your thoughts?
It is the old school thinking that we kind of went from TV adverts, magazine adverts, whatever, the polished, you have to show everything in that. I guess it just boils down to the attention span, right? Like we can
see, that's a problem.
We can lose the interest in like the first couple of seconds. But this is now for us and that creativity to shine to still keep these people engaged without showing that product in those 3 seconds, right? Most of the video is a problem. The last 3 seconds of the video is a solution. And
it's like that hold out for the actual. It's like you're building up the or even too, I see so many visual hooks that are nothing to do with the video, but it's just what's
happening. Oh my god, the other day I saw this video on, I think it was like some massive like sofas company in UK, and that little stitch on TikTok when there's like a monkey that like slides through and the bomb, and then they zoomed it out and it was a sofa. Like stitches of the sofa. I died.
So good.
And I sent it to my sister. Yeah. And I sent those to my sister straight away. And guess what? This is what 90% of people who sees this ad will do, because it makes them laugh. It gives them a physical reaction, right? So even though they might not be buying the sofa, because this is very important, right? These ads are not going to be the conversion funnel. This is not going to convert.
It's awareness, yeah.
But it makes you remember. Next time you see this brand, you will remember that. You won't even remember the monkey, but you will remember how you felt towards the brand.
Yeah, they're fun, they're modern, yeah.
Exactly.
And then when you want to actually get a new sofa or whatever, you'll be like,
they're in your mind.
Yeah, because you're inspired to get that lifestyle. Yeah. So it's all connected. I feel like organic and paid should always be connected. They should speak the same language, but like different slang, if that makes sense.
Showing the product in the first 3 seconds, I don't think it's going to help, especially now, because people, they sense this now. Like,
we know, we're aware, we're awoke.
I'm so glad you guys agree, because I've been thinking that this last while, I'm like, when I'm creating content, I'm like, no, people no longer, like, it's nearly that old school marketing. People have got too quick for it, that they'll switch off because they're like an ad rather than if it feels more personable. So now I've started leaning away from that. But no, that's good. And I think it'll be interesting for other creators too, because if we're thinking it, other people definitely are too. And even then, I'm like, to brands, I'm like, we're not being silly if we don't mention the product straight away. We're trying to build the rapport, get the quizzitivity up, and then at the end be like, boom, product.
Yep.
But exactly. I guess this could all depend. If you know that your hook will land, then go ahead and mention that product after that hook, because you got them. You got the audience. But if it is a little bit more organic, if you're showing, like I do personally, I love when there's a product placement in like a daily routine or like morning skincare routine or cleaning, stuff like that. This is my type of an ad. But like brands who understand me as their audience will target me with those ads.
Yeah.
But those who don't will show me things that I just don't want to see, and I'll just swipe through. But the videos that show me a routine or like how the product actually improves their lives, that's what will keep me engaged. But that's just something that works on me, which is like a community on TikTok, but there's loads of different communities that you can target the same product but in a different way. And I guess your organic and paid is going to work the same way, because they're going to engage different audiences in different time.
Exactly. Yeah, so I don't think there's a right way to do it. Like, you should definitely go organic, or you should definitely go just paid, or I think definitely it's a combination. But I actually have a question which can be a bit challenging, because I was just thinking now that how can you actually implement this to a service-based product, because it's not a physical product, and it's more challenging. So if you were to create an ad for Clip, because obviously we use our creators to do videos for Clip and to explain how it works, and still, like, it's still adsy, because I mean, you have a hook, you need a hook, because there's no way. How would you wrap it around, like,
I think
to look more organic?
that is a hard question, but I think it's a good question. I like the ads you've been doing recently that's more from the perspective of a business owner, because that then, oh wait, what's wrong?
No, sorry. I just had a very funny like image in my head, but continue and I'll share.
Yes, let us know your funny image. We want to laugh as well.
No, I'll finish my bit quickly. I was gonna say, because I quite like the ones that you're doing at the minute that are from the brand's point of view, that it's like, okay, this is why. And I know that is more problem solution, it is adsy, but it feels more natural rather than like, do you want this? I'm like, okay, if I'm seeing, because if I was a business owner then and I was just seeing like, I struggle with that, I get that, then that to me is more organic, even though it's still an ad, but it feels more authentic because it's more of a testimonial as if someone put it up. But what do you think, Nicola? What's the funny image?
The first thing that came to my mind is like, I feel like for Clip, it would have to be comical, like sarcastic.
Thinking if it was like a really shit video, I mean, like this stuff, not not and we expect this, like something really like a crap video to like show that it's kind of that, to keep on the playfulness, but also professionality there.
Or like I would do something like, I don't know, there's like a guy or like a woman in like massive glasses, like diamonds, you know, like a fake stuff, and they're like, this is what we got since we started using UGC instead of editorials. And then they're like, well, obviously we didn't, but our sales multiplied da-di-da-di-da. And then it's like coming into like statistics and stuff. This is what I mean by like, you would have to get that specific person for that to do it.
I can't remember her name, but there's a girl I've literally got in mind who would be perfect for doing that.
Yeah, because I feel like it would be something cheeky and funny.
She's from the Clip, yeah. She's on the Clip because her videos are always like that sassy funniness, but and always like 10 out of 10 editing too. That would be brilliant, actually, Nicola. Yeah, it's like thinking of the ways that you can like nearly show off that, oh, we're doing well, but it's also taking the mickey out of it too.
Yeah,
and I think as you said before, like, you remember those brands, then like, they were those funny ones, or they'll save it or send it to someone too.
We need to create a lot of ads per week, and I'm just like, I'm in a super creative mood, but you know, at some point you're just like banging your head on the wall, because it's just like, I don't have any ideas anymore. So I was just like, cheeky trying to get some.
Record yourself banging yourself on the face and be like, if only I knew what to do with my ads for my business, and you show Clip.
That's so good. That's so good. Because I always think about, okay, I can do something fun. I can do this. But then I'm just like, and then I try to film myself, and then I just look stupid. I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do this. This is too
overthinking.
Yeah, you know, we do have quite a few service kind of like based products on Clip, which are a bit more trickier when it comes to organic. You know, how obviously it depends on the service, but still.
I think though, just when you're saying that too, it like comes back to, I think, storytelling. So say for example, it's service based in terms of like finance apps or window cleaning services or something. I think you could probably make it if it's like a storytelling. So like, for example, app like, oh, every month I try to sit down and do this, and like, this is what I found to be helpful. Like if you do that element of how would you show up if you were actually really excited about something on your personal account, because then that would help for it. Or like window cleaning too, like, oh, I'm always sick of these dirty windows, but like this I found, I know it's still a bit adsy, but it's a lot more authentic and organic feeling. But you actually would say that to someone.
I definitely agree that for like, especially for the ads, it must be a problem solution, because otherwise you can't you can't really explain your product then. But it's like, how do you get around the hooks? All those services are probably either to make your life easier or to save time, right? So perhaps your hook could be someone just finally having time to do yoga and do this and do that because So, but you know, so you kind of have aspiration versus solution, and just kind of playing around with those, like what can be a hook what can you start the video with that it still correlates to the service, but somehow you still get that little like, oh, this is fun kind of situation.
Yeah.
So people don't just swipe through. We discussed in the latest episodes the importance of like green screen and things like that, how your tools can really make a difference. UGC videos for services are great. And I don't agree with anyone who says, oh, it doesn't work for me because there's no physical product, because I feel like you can explain your product so much with UGC, like someone showing, or like instructions, or like how the product is built. And even more than that, you can use UGC not only for advertising your product, but also to retain the customer, because you can explain the existing customer how it works and present new features and stuff like that in no other way than, you know, getting an actor to kind of do it for you.
I think when you're even saying that too, anyone that says, especially it's in a service industry, oh, UGC wouldn't work for me. Anytime someone says that to me, I'm like, how do you sell your services already? Because UGC is just a way of selling them. So if you're actually going in, for example, doing demo calls, or if you're doing networking events, what are you saying to people when you're selling your services? Like, are you doing that? Because subconsciously you're probably doing that problem solution, be like, oh, do you find this keep happening? Well, we've actually created X. That is it. Only it's in ad form. So that's why it's so good, because you genuinely can, like, whatever you do typically sell, you could do that with an ad. So it makes sense.
Time is money, right? Especially when you're running your own business. And how much time do you waste explaining those things over and over again to new customers on demo calls that you could just have a video that they just land on? I've seen some videos on Clip now when people want instructions how to use their product rather than an actual video for ads, which is really cool as well, because that just gives you, that just shows you another way to use UGC for your business. Because we all talk about getting new clients, we all talk about getting new audiences, but what about your existing clients? You don't want them to go. Keep them.
You've literally just reminded me of a video I seen recently that they were using for a newsletter, and it was basically they got a UGC creator to like voice. It was like talking to their newsletter subscribers, like, right guys, we've got this new exciting feature. And it's like, smart. So like, this is the thing too, that it's not specifically, I know we're talking about ads, but it's not just ads. Like the organic side of things, as you said there, Nick, like I'm from a social media point of view too. Think how you can make it as easy as possible for a customer. So your UGC ad could be organic content, have it on your page, the how-tos, pin it, your frequently asked questions, have UGC. If it's your website and you're wanting to showcase like scrolling through and like how products are used, or even if it's fashion and you're wanting to show like a model actually having the clothes on and having those videos, UGC it. Like there's so many ways around it. Or even too, I'm starting to see now brands are starting to outsource UGC in terms of they've got like a new fashion business started and they're wanting just stock imagery, but by UGC creators so they can fill their catalog sorted.
Easy.
It's so powerful.
If I could give one advice now, is to come up with 3 video examples and do them in a way like one would be your typical organic, what you see, what you just envision. One typically paid, so like just go hardcore, right? Like go hardcore and like it's so salesy that it's actually like cheesy. Like, and then you watch them together and be like, how the third video should be basically a mixture of these two. And what do you get? What do you get as a result? So like do a little maybe like mind map or some sort of situation like that you just try to like map it out, because I feel like so many brands are doing it now where they're blending those two worlds together. And this is where the money is. Like we already mentioned, like Garnier, you know, brands that weren't cool for so long are now blowing up.
M&S.
For the new generation. M&S, you know, like
Next and all too, yeah,
exactly. They are just becoming cool again because they adapted their content and they adapted where they show that content too. And I would say that the video that you kind of come up with, the mixture of these two, use it both on organic and paid and see where it, you know, see how it performs. But then you're kind of making that pond of what to test a little bit smaller, and you can get like really big learnings from it. And I feel like Maria, maybe it could help you with the clip ads too. You know, create something that's so cheesy that it hurts. Create something that is almost too laid back. And then somewhere in the middle lays your perfect piece of content.
I feel like it's always to do with testing. And I think sometimes brands with UGC, when they don't know what to do, they'll just like follow their competitors rather than actually looking and finding out, okay, what actually works for us. So I could not agree more there. Is like, brands, you will have to spend a little bit and you might think, oh, I'm wasting money here, but spend it to test. So then at least you know, rather than for months be doing the same style and being like, oh, I'm not really getting good results, all because initially you didn't spend the time working out, okay, what actually connects with our audience the best, and then go from there and build upon it.
Also, just one more quick point. I think because what you just said, Ali, like about the spend, because this is obviously to some, this conversation might seem a little bit like, oh yeah, look, 3 girls talking about this, but essentially it is all about the money, and we do understand that there's no money to be spent. We get it. We've all been there. We've all in our existence have been in a situation where we're like, I really don't want to spend this amount on this. But it's like, you need to treat it as this is given. This is a part of your business plan that you have money for marketing. And if you say that, you've worked with 5 marketing managers or companies and they all screwed you over, it didn't work, whatever, this was all a part of your personal testing. This is not them not doing their job, because you look at the other brands who are doing digital marketing and it works for them. There is no secret spell. There's no secret way to do it that only a couple of people know about this. This is all how much testing they've done. This is all how much, how many options they tested, how much money. If you think about their budgets, and I understand that they have that budget, but you need to think about your budget as a small percentage of their budget and do whatever you can with that money. But don't be like, I'm not investing anything because I got screwed over. No, you've just been testing it out.
If money's what you're worried about and wasting it too, I think this is why UGC is a safer option sometimes initially, if you're wanting to dabble in it before going into full on like getting video shoots and photo shoots and stuff, is because if you do a bit of research, you work out your brief, you work out what you're after, do what Nicola said there, put a bit of budget between 3 videos. Like, let's be honest, it's not that expensive either at the same time compared to what you could be putting into. To just see and then build from that too. That I think in the long run, it's a lot cheaper to initially do this to see what works, to then dabble in other things. But at least you can't. I personally feel like UGC is pretty darn safe, because like, you're not selling the dream. Like, agencies I know can sell, we'll do this, we'll get that result XYZ. Whereas with this, at least you can kind of guarantee, because you get more of a say in it too, and then go further with it then.
Yeah, and then not to mention the fees that an agency are going to charge you. So I mean, it's thousands, right? And you also need to get lured into a 3-month contract, whatever. I mean, it's agencies that how they work. That's how they work. It's not something that it's rocket science. But on that note of like testing out and see what it works, we are also testing different strategies for Clip. And guess what? We're losing money because we have to test out. So it's like, it's not just about, obviously most of our budget is going back into marketing because this is what you should do. There was actually one key speaker at the conference talking about the fact that you should never cut your marketing expenses. You will have to lay people off, or maybe you will have to, I don't know, give up your office in Shoreditch, but never cut out your marketing like budget, because that's the only.
It's like you're cutting off your hand. It's like, oh
yeah, exactly. It's like you're a software engineer and you're just like slicing your fingers. Like no, like you will lose money 100%. If someone tells you like, oh no, you'll start getting customers from your first ad. No, it's not like that.
Yeah.
The point is, you have to test it no matter what. And I think what you just said, both of you, like having, like moving smart into it rather than like, okay, let's go on just this way and test it as much as possible, which we honestly have done on Clip, to be honest. Like most of our ads are very, very salesy, right? Going different approaches, especially with UGC, because it's not a fortune. You can actually test it out and see how it goes. And then also, if you think you found the winning ad, don't stop. Like it's
don't
not
stop on it.
Definitely, it's not like, oh, I found the winning ad from an organic kind of like approach, let's say, and then you might want to double down on the organic approach for sure, but that doesn't mean that you still can't test the other ways either, because it might also be an opportunity from the other like path that you went with the type of ads. Testing. That's all I can. That's all I can
And
say.
It's always
yeah, keep an eye for like little moments, little situations in your company, your brand, your business, your day to day, when it's something that just hits you, like there's something interesting about it, something that you would find interesting. Like I remember one of the only videos that were performing really well organically for one of my clients from the previous company on TikTok was like American sweets, right? And we've done loads. We've done like packing was doing really well, but not like blowing up, right? And then like one day I was sitting at my desk and I was actually eating their candies because they were open from content shoot that we did. And I had like really long nails and I like started peeling it and I was like, oh my God, this is so satisfying. And I recorded myself peeling those jellies. And that video went viral. That video that took me 5 seconds because it was like just that weird thing that just was interesting. Didn't mention the brand, didn't do anything. It was just a jelly and long nails peeling it, and that was it. And that somehow you just don't know. And if I didn't do that video, I would never know that this is something that there's community for. There is a community of people peeling jellies on TikTok. Like who would have thought? But it's random, but it's just somehow sometimes these type of things just work. And you need to test it, trial and error until you get that one thing that blows you up.
Just try to think out of the box. I know it can sound cliche, and we said so many things that can sound really cliche, but at the end of the day, try to go different paths, organic, paid, a mix of it, test it out, see how it goes. Let us know how it goes if you test it out. We're keen to learn more about it. If your service, I think maybe try to tap into the fun bit of it so it doesn't look like boring and like, just another app for how to track your spending. With physical products, it's always easier because you can always come up with funny like bits. Easier, I would say, not necessarily easy.
Don't give up because people still go viral with digital products all the time. So it's just finding that solution, finding that way to do it. Might be a bit harder, but you decided to have that product, not me. So
that's also true. That's also true. Yeah.
You made it hard for yourself. Now kind of, you made your bed. But just keep pushing and you will eventually get there.
We actually have a study case on our landing page with a brand that is recruitment platform, something like I think you both did. Not sure if Ali, you did one for them.
I didn't. Is it Appen? By any chance?
No, it was like Red Wigwam.
Yeah, the Red Wigwam.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, they I think they went viral on TikTok or something with one of the videos. I'm not sure which one, but we have this case. So it is a service.
It works.
It works. Yeah. Don't try to see what the other competitors are doing. Obviously, it's good for market research. That's always like good. But if they're doing the same thing as you do and you're trying to do the same thing as they do, how do you actually stand out? It's a good inspiration to see what they're doing, okay, what they're offering, how I can differentiate from theirs. This is also something that you should consider, not just like, okay, I should do this video that the other brand is doing because it's performing well for them. Because people will go on like ad library, they will just like see for how long has this ad been going. That means it's performing well. Then I would do it the same just because I think it's going to perform well for me. But just as we were mentioning at the beginning, your brand is not the same as the other brand, even though your product is literally the same product. So try to
just a nice box.
Just get out of that box.
And then for organic, when you're looking for something like a little inspo, because what you need is a little nugget of something to make your brain go, right? So go on hashtags on Instagram or TikTok, something that is relatable to your brand. Sometimes smaller hashtags are even better because there's going to be a little niche, right? You go on, you see what people are creating and hope that this little nugget will show up that you can bring to your content and create the whole video about that, or static content or whatever it is that you need.
Most of the times the ideas will just come like on a random day, like while you were like browsing Waitrose or whatever, and you're just like, oh, okay, I have this idea, I need to like, just write it down or something. That's amazing. But most of the times you'll have to like try and see what's happening
Look for it
out there,
This is it. The trends, how you can use those in your specific niche, like be creative with that. Like you won't know until you're there. It's like you're not watching news, so you don't know what's happening. This is the same sort of environment, just different tool, I guess.
So to conclude, guys, then I think it's just always about testing. But we hope you really enjoyed this episode. I think it was really even valuable for myself on it too, hearing everyone's point of view. But cannot wait to have the next episode too, talking with you guys.
And let us know if you have any questions or topics that you want us to discuss. Just let us know on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, email.
Youth
Clip,
neighbor's door,
neighbor's door, whatever, word of mouth, it doesn't matter. Just let us know. We're happy to chat about anything, or if you have any questions, feel free to ask us around.
See you guys to the next one.
See you.